It's the Free Lunch Podcast with me and my comrades, giving you what you need every day, no off days. We talking real-ish and current events. It's the Free Lunch Podcast with me and my comrades, giving you what you need every day, no off days. We talking real-ish and current events.
Why you push my mic over there? You hating?
You sound like I'm hating on you?
No, you pushed my mic all the way over there.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad. And I apologize, but you know, I messed up last time.
It's your fucking birthday.
I didn't want to treat you like
It's a fucking celebration.
I wanted to treat you like that stepdaddy.
Tonight we celebrate.
So, hey, bro.
Seems like time.
I'm all like, wait, what are you talking about?
Control.
Hey, we had a
It's a
birthday last week.
celebration. Birthday, baby, it's your birthday.
Oh, that's so
Who's
cute.
gonna love you on
Thank
your
you,
worst
thank
day?
you. I'm cracking up. That's why you had to hit the lights.
You can put the lights back on real quick. Thank you, I appreciate
Hold on, let her
you.
blow the candles out. Let her blow the candles out. Make a wish.
What's your wish?
Uh,
1,000 subscribers!
yeah. You want me to blow all over all of them?
You ever for the wax burn on them?
Thank you.
Is that a trick then?
A trick candle.
Hey, these are
Hey,
fire,
I
too.
was a little girl.
Happy birthday to me.
Right now? You have one, bro?
Yeah, you can have one. You can have one. You can have one.
Hey,
Yeah, that's swaggy tea over there.
alright. But
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday.
That was so sweet.
happy birthday. Look, man, I messed up the first time. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely messed up. But you got it right.
I'm cracking up. I didn't even know we was recording.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to set it up. I was finessing the whole time.
Surprise. We had some help.
Surprise, chick. So, you know, but no.
In the bathroom.
Oh, no.
Go around the side. Watch the camera.
Alright. Look, episode 6 of the Free Lunch Podcast. Y'all know hey, we live.
We live and we here.
We live.
And it's a good one.
What's up, y'all?
We almost at 7.
What's up, YouTube?
We almost at 7, that consistency thing.
Uh-oh.
Hey,
We almost there.
Uh-oh.
So, a few pods back, Bro Nose came through with some gems. And matter of fact, he gave like a real special shout out in the spotlight to a guy in this city who really doing big things. Been doing big things, you know what I mean? You know how we is at the Free Lunch Podcast. We don't never put an umbrella over nobody's lamp. So we about to elevate the light, you know what I mean? Just shining some more light on a special guest we got today. Yeah. And since you brought him to the pod and you spoke him up and gave him a shout out, I'm gonna need you to show a little bit of love to our guest today.
Man, we need like clue bombs. All right. We need all the horns dropped. You know what I mean? We're gonna go to humble beginnings where, believe it or not, Cheney has produced a lot of
Humble beginnings.
future icons, future celebrities, future people who's going to be decision makers. You know what I mean? Cheney has produced those, and one of those people that Cheney produced is a good brother that we have to my right, Mike
Good
Carroll.
brother.
But I'm not. We not gonna stop there. There's so much more to talk about, right? Like that was my phone. We good. But Mike, when I seen Mike, he was working on trying to get a lot of music started in Philadelphia. We talking about a Pittsburgh guy in a whole nother city that don't really like us. That was they was working with him.
That don't really like us.
We gonna drop a few things. He dropped with AR Ad. Him and Johnny Martini with iGrind Global.
I seen
Okay.
you do it.
All right, that was just a start. He brought Young Thug to Pittsburgh.
Hey.
All right,
Okay.
that Summer Jam, that was crazy. Not only that, he worked with Amal Lux out in Canada. You know what I mean? He worked with Dej, who's right now signed to Rich the Kid.
Deej.
Okay, Deej. I'm sorry, pronunciation wrong. He worked with
See,
Deej,
that's my boo. I've been crushing on her for years.
who I heard
Hey,
is close to
wait, hold on. What young man me say? Would you fuck me?
Shut up.
But nah.
And right now he's working with a real good staple in the Pittsburgh music scene and not only music scene but just the local scene. We talking about Fed to God.
Bro. Hey, his name yet?
Who? Mike? Yeah, I said Mike.
I was about to say, bro, you didn't hit the close ball.
You always hating on his intros.
His flowers early. I dropped his name early, but when I grew up, I knew him as Bags because he was getting money. He was getting money.
I know that's right.
You know what I mean? That's how we knew him. But Mike Carroll, everybody. Round of applause for Mike, man.
Thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Welcome to the show, Mike.
Appreciate you coming.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. My young boy.
Okay, and we got a special edition with us. We got a special edition. He got his own little interview about to drop soon too. He got his own.
My boy TJ in the building.
TJ.
He's the cutest.
Hey.
What's the deal? Hey, TJ, man, he was part of the production. Like, so I gotta give you some credits, know what I mean? Without you, who's gonna turn the light on and off, man? Who's gonna do that?
It was you, bro.
Hey,
Good stuff. And you
He
did
the
your
one.
job. And you did your job. That means you're a good listener. We see great things in your
He
future,
the
bro.
one.
Good stuff, my boy.
hey. I was thinking of like different ways to like turn the pod up a little bit.
Let's hear him.
Oh, let's hear him?
Let's hear it.
I only got one. But for our guest though, like you say, you come from humble beginnings.
Very humble beginnings.
So I want to start asking our guests, like, what is the free lunch program? Like, did you have like a free lunch program that you went to back in the day growing up?
I mean, I went to Penn Hills. I think so. You know what I'm saying? I believe so.
Like the summer lunch.
I think so.
Did you have to pay for lunch? Did they make you pay for lunch?
The summer programs, I was never privileged enough to go to any of them.
Okay. Okay.
We wasn't privileged either. We had the free lunches, bro. I ain't go to no camps, no Boy Scouts or none of that.
Soybean burgers.
I wanted
you know
to be a
what
Boy
I mean?
Scout for a little bit.
Yeah, I just ate at the crib.
I mean, I guess that's a free lunch too.
You went to a different time.
Free lunch, definitely free lunch.
Didn't you go when they were
That was
letting
it.
people go to like home for lunch and stuff like that? Like you was allowed to leave school when you was going, right?
I don't remember ever. I remember wanting to stay at school because I was like, I want to stay here.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I don't remember going home for lunch. I don't remember doing any summer program. Not till maybe sixth grade. I went to a camp that changed my life. But besides that, I don't remember going to any summer drinks.
Why did
Okay.
it change your life? What kind of camp was that?
It was the first time someone told me like I was intelligent, like I was smart.
Who was that person? Highlight him, man.
I don't remember. It was like I think it was just when I got to sixth grade. I think it was validation that I kind of knew what I was doing in certain things as a kid.
Okay.
I was good at math, so that was just like, all right, go to this camp, and I was at a camp with all these people that was like into math, and I realized like, oh shit, like I fuck with math, like I'm good at math. It was like one of my first validations as a kid, like yo, you alright.
Okay.
Over like just being with my family or being on the playground and shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess we could start the interview process. Like I know with my 1v1s, I always like
Do an unwind.
Yeah, like-
Icebreaker.
not even icebreaker. I just be on I ask a question, and if that question take us to childhood, then we start at childhood.
Okay.
But if it take us, I mean, to high school, we go there. But you said that you realized your gift. You said like sixth grade.
Yeah, like fifth, sixth grade.
Sixth
I
grade.
do remember Mr. Sparrow. Every time I did good in math or got an A on a test, he would give me an airhead. Shout out to
Okay.
Mr. Sparrow, Shenandoah. That's the earliest teacher I feel like I remember. But yeah, fifth, sixth grade. Like math, science, shit like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that might be like the most influential time in like a young kid's life because I had my sixth grade teacher, Mr. Carroll. I might not remember none of them, but I'm always gonna remember Mr. Carroll. He gave me my first F. I was in sixth grade, bro, and I didn't deserve it, but he gave it to me because he knew that my mom was gonna be on my ass. And then gave it to me. Next 9 weeks, it was just like straight A's the rest of the time. But
That's fire.
He knew the standard that my mom had, and I mean, and he just forced. He ain't know I got my ass whooped, but hey, shout out Carroll, man, you got my ass whooped.
That was Dr. Allen, man. Dr. Allen was like She was like the mom away from home, bro.
Yeah.
I used to love going to her room.
It's crazy when you think about those teachers as you get older. Like, there were certain teachers in our life that propelled us to certain places. And you're appreciative, and it's sad that they don't get paid what they should, because they changed all of our lives.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
They raised so many kids.
Yeah.
So many.
Speaking of which, man, the time that I ran into you, I ran into like kind of like I want to say from how I see it from outside and seeing it as like looking at somebody who was an RA for me during Summer Bridge program. Shout out to 08 Summer Bridge.
It was a Summer Bridge.
Yeah, that's why I met Matt and Reese.
Summer
you know
Bridge.
what I mean? Yeah.
This boy all around that bed.
It was a Summer Bridge program.
So man, Summer Bridge was like the prereq to going to your freshman year. If you had bad grades, we was bad as hell, bro. I try to tell people all the time about my boys Matt and Reese from out Jersey City. Nobody believed me.
One of them passed away though.
Yeah, Reese, R.I.P. Reese, man.
How you passed away?
He got killed. He beat somebody up in a little deli store taking up for an old lady. You know what I mean? Because he was a really honorable dude. Yeah, he beat somebody up. His mans came out the car, shot him. So R.I.P. Reese out Jersey City 346.
Yeah, that was crazy. He was getting all the hoes too.
Yeah, man. He was an issue up there. My boy was an issue.
He was an issue.
He was an issue.
They were
Yeah.
cool. They were close.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of them was issues. The
Yeah.
Summer Bridge, I knew there was gonna be an issue. I'm like, y'all niggas, y'all better strap up.
Yo, man, he used to go, he saved a lot. Like, I'll be real. There was a moment when there was this dude from New York who, this was at the time when I didn't know that you could tell somebody to SMD and it was disrespectful.
Oh, yeah.
But Matt and Reese was not playing that. They was not going for it. So all the way from the gym, I'm talking about the gym, we're standing in the girls' freshman dorm. The gym halfway across campus. He's begging dude to fight him all the way across campus. So we're at the point he's walking down the steps. He comes running out. The whole building is following him. He broke the whole fight up. Yo, chill. It was what you remember, Todd. You did, Quick did, and yes,
Bro,
you ran out, stopped the whole thing, bro. The whole thing.
I say
it was about to go down.
Is I seen a lot, like in you, Lenny, our folks from Jersey. I seen a lot in y'all. I seen a lot of me and y'all. So I knew like y'all were able to like cross different thresholds. Like you were able to be in the boardroom and also like have a street certain like point of view. So I'm like, yo, I gotta make sure like they cool. So when I see certain things, I just try to hop in. You know what I'm saying? I don't even remember that, but I
remember that vividly. I also remember you trying to do a lot of things as far as like working with student government and establish like some type of culture within Cheney.
Yeah.
That was kind of tough. That was tough for you, especially because, a lot of the things you were trying to do, the powers that be weren't trying to like necessarily work with you.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that shit was crazy. I built a thesis at Cheney where I believe that growth, the environment conducive for growth needs a balanced social infrastructure and a balance of knowledge, science, like core knowledge structure, right? Without one falters, without the other falters. So like just focusing on like the school and what you learn from school, and then focusing on like having a good social environment, which includes like the people that you interact with, like making sure that you build spaces that people are able to interact with each other. And then also building spaces where people can grow and learn in their disciplines that they want to learn in. If you don't have one or the other, I think one was going to falter. What was happening with Cheney is, although some of our academics were good, our academic environment was good, the social part of it was garbage.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So nobody wanted to do anything. So we felt, and me personally, I felt as long as we keep a social environment high, then we keep working. You know what I'm saying?
You created a social environment. You created the Goon Squad. I think that was like a good start to exactly what you were necessarily trying to do. You know what I mean? That was like kind of like, it was like a fraternity minus the fuckery. You know what I mean? And that was, and from doing that, you kind of created like this idea of like, you don't have to go necessarily in the status quo. You can create your own lane and get things done for the greater good of like the campus without having to necessarily work or be a part of the, elite group of people. You know what I mean? Yeah. How did that translate into the career that you are currently working with now? Like what was that pivotal moment at Cheney where it was like, you know what, I'm about to start working with Philadelphia acts. I'm about to start, actually, you know what, like from Philadelphia, how did that transfer from Philly to to Pittsburgh?
I think what I realized with Cheney was I didn't want to be a Q, I didn't want to be a Calpet, I didn't want to be like in those organizations. I actually tried and call it my ego or call it, you know what I'm saying, just the way I lived my life, I couldn't find I remember one time I did try doing a pre-pledge, the Qs, and they were like, yo, go get me the snack bar with your snack bar card. And I was like, huh? Right.
You talking about my chicken?
Get somebody else to do it.
My snack bar chicken.
But no, that was I now recognize that was my ego as a young kid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But at the time, I just wasn't, I just wasn't for that. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to them organizations, but I think I always, to this day, I'm a rebel. Like, I go against the status quo. I go against, you know what I'm saying, like, what people think you ought to do, and focus on what I think and what I think is important for our culture. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I remember hearing somebody quote something like that. I don't remember if it was Nipsey Hussle or somebody like that. Basically saying like the people who like go with the grain just keep the world afloat, but the people who go against the grain create change. So it's lit, you know what I mean, for people who are willing to go against the grain and not be like nervous to do that, even though it's obstacle after obstacle. But doing that is creating change. So.
It's crazy that you say that because we really believe that. In college, was the reason why, and I think Barry knows the reason why I'm in the situation I'm in now. I remember me and shout out to my boy Johnny. We were in the administration's office, like crying, telling them, like, "Yo, y'all don't do shit for us. Like, like, yo, y'all trying to shut down these events. We pay for this out of our own pocket, X, Y, and Z." And it just, as a kid, I was like, "Damn, I used to question ourselves, like, are we doing the right thing, or are these older people who have been living life longer than us and are more successful than us? Are they right? Should we take their advice and stop?" And I think my answer was confirmed when I became an adult. I started realizing, like, nah, the reason why Cheney was the way it was is because the bureaucracies never changed the way they thought.
See, that's good that you pointed out, because, bro, aren't you going through, like, didn't you have some similar things, like, as far as when you was trying to help Braddock and get things situated for the youth? You was running into gatekeepers who were older than you, and they were trying to stop you from, like, you know what I mean, essentially trying to establish what you was trying to do?
Be careful how you speak, too. Because I don't get in your bag. I know, because you want to.
Don't get in your bag.
I think Mike seen my ass, like, I'm like, well,
watch yourself, because we still live here.
But nah, for the most part, I don't want to say it was everybody, but power is a dangerous thing. Like the possession of power is dangerous, because I know whenever I got power, I'm okay with relinquishing some of it to other people so we could get stuff done a little bit more faster, more efficient. But whenever some people get the power, it's like they turn into the nemesis, you know what I mean? Like, because one thing about superheroes and villains, they both got superpowers.
Yeah.
One uses them for good, one uses for bad, you know what I mean? And that's like, that's the danger of the power that some people have, and so with all that being said, I met people who tried to use their power for their own personal gain, which I felt like was bad, but I also felt like I met some dudes who had power and they used it, so we could grow. But anytime you got like two sets of people on two opposite sides of the spectrum trying to come to an agreement, bro, it's always going to come to like a stalemate unless you like recruit other people like on your side to be like, well, look, majority rules, and there's 7 people in the room, you got 4 people to say my way, you know what I mean? But without that, we wasn't really getting nothing done. But, shout out to the Hurricanes. They brought their team to Braddock, and we about to be having youth football again. But it's younger mans coming together and a couple old mans, but it's just like that common balance. Where, it's like a comfortable balance between like the old head and the young dude. Young dude gotta listen up because he hard-headed, but the old head gotta listen up too because, bro, you're fucking old.
Innovative, we're innovative.
Thanks.
Okay. So
yeah, that's.
So essentially, let's go back. Let's go a little further back. Let's go back to Bags when he was in between Cheney and Westchester, and you started working with the local artists in Philly.
Yeah.
How did that come about? That's
really
tough, bro. You from Pittsburgh?
Yeah. I really gotta give credit to my boy Johnny. We were doing the parties, fashion shows, etc. Cheney, we started doing like marketing for homecomings. He had went on an internship to Jive Records and came back with a bunch of CDs from Miguel. This is before no one knew who Miguel was. And he was like, yo, we should all pass these out. I want to see what happens. So we passed him out up Cheney. We passed him up Lincoln. I think we went to Temple. We was passing it out. And he had this song. And it's funny because the song came back out recently. Sure Thing.
Okay.
I knew you was going to say that because Sure Thing was definitely out long before it was out.
It was out long before. So I remember like, damn, this music crazy. And I remember he would sit me down and tell me stories about him working at Job. One of his stories was like, at that time, Chris Brown was going through the fight with Rihanna. Like he abused her, and that whole thing was going on. And the label wanted to drop him. He was signed to Jive, and the label wanted to drop him. And Chris Brown put up his own money to shoot the video for Deuces because he believed in it. And the label was like, "It's trash. We're gonna drop him. Like, he won't let him get this shit off and leave him alone."
Chris Brown,
and Chris Brown shot Deuces with his own money, believed in himself, and then it took him right back up. You know what I'm saying? So I just remember being interested in music, and he kind of went off on a tangent and just started managing artists. He managed Joey Jihad, he managed Young Sam, he managed A.R.Ab, Quilly Mills, and I was just kind of there with him, just learning and like soaking up the game. And at that time, like, he was just passing on CDs and shit like that, and like he was going through his motions. And at that time, I think the biggest artist that we were working with, or he was working with, and I was just there with him, was A.R.Ab. And it was a situation where A.R.Ab was about to get signed to OVO, and they were beefing. You know, Meek and Drake were beefing. And A.R.Ab got caught up into that. And A.R.Ab, if you know anything about A.R.Ab, like, he's super street dude. Yeah. But like, A.R.Ab is actually one of the nicest people. Like, he's one of the nicest people you ever meet. Okay. Like, super respectful, super smart. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead.
So Drake wasn't trolling whenever he was like really. I came through in the 6 bumping AI. He wasn't playing.
Nah, there was like conversations going on behind closed doors.
That's crazy.
And A.R.Ab, they was discussing the deal. A.R.Ab got locked up. And my homie was just like, at that point he'd been in the game for like 7-8 years. And he was just like, bro, like, I can't keep putting my life in the hands of people who don't value their own lives. I done put my all into Ab, all into Lee Mays and Quilly
That's a
Mills.
word.
I just remember that feeling. At the time I was finishing my master's, and I was like, I want to really get into music. Like, I've been watching him, helping him, advising him in any way I can, learning from him. So I was like, I want to get into music. And I heard this girl that went to our school. Latia went to our school.
I didn't know that.
Latia went to our school, yeah.
Okay.
From Pittsburgh?
From Pittsburgh.
The singer.
I remember.
Shout out Latia.
Shout you out.
Man, she's like a super. Hold on. I don't want to jump too far into this story without giving her roses, because Latia is probably the first like local singer who I seen, and I was like, she's a superstar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Reese Youngin, he's a superstar. Like, you could tell, like you never see it fall off. You know what I mean? And his money might be up, down, up and around. You never know, but
it's the quality.
He just got like a glow about him, bro. Like, like he's a superstar. Yeah. Like that No Parties remix. I don't think Reese Youngin was putting out too much material before that. It was just like boom, and it was just like, he lit, but he finally got the discussion going about him. I feel like Latia got like that same glow about her.
Yeah. Yo, you got a knack for finding artists early.
Yeah, I see.
Did you find Lil Uzi? Like, cause I know Lil Uzi was
Tier was friends with Uzi, but I ain't had nothing to do with Uzi.
Yeah, we gonna get into Tier, that connection the next half.
Yeah.
Cause that's a story.
Yeah, I ain't. That's a story. I ain't gonna take. But I did realize at a young age that I just have a good ear and a good eye, and I just built a knowledge base around that. But like, I was down Miami. I seen this girl that I already knew from school. They used to run around and beat bitches and beat women up.
That's a quarter.
Nah.
Oh, that's a quarter.
Not turn around and beat a man.
Cheney used to run around. They were called PG-13. So I knew her, Cheney, Pittsburgh.
PG-13.
Yeah, so
that sound like a group that whooped.
That's what they did.
Wait a minute, hold on. They called their group PG-13.
They called their group. So it was her, Tundra, Siobhan. No, they grown, got their own families now, but Cheney, Pittsburgh was real tight.
Yeah.
Right.
Shout out to the Pittsburgh people that held it down that Cheney, man. Shout out y'all, yo.
So while we were fighting everybody from Philly, the men, they were fighting everyone, the women from Philly. But then they would go and talk to the Philly guys too. Hot about that, like, why are you with the enemy? But mind you, the Philly girls that were they dudes, so it was kind of like they way up the payback. Like, we beating y'all up and we messing with your dudes.
Yes.
But
now we beating y'all here and here.
yeah,
Now we beating his ass.
I mean, but long story short, like I just heard her music. I knew the first time I heard her, I was like, oh, she's a superstar. And I was like, I'm going back to Pittsburgh. And then at that time, I finished school, I got my master's, so I was just like, and I also wanted to raise my daughter who lived in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. I'm gonna move back, raise my daughter, and I'm gonna see what's going on with Latia. So in the meantime, I was getting my stuff together. I just built a relationship with her, and that was kind of like me coming back, and like, we just went full throttle with Latia.
Man, so like, man, that's crazy. Because around the time that you came, Summer Jam and shit was like dying out. Like Whammo and all that. Like you didn't really see none of that stuff coming.
Yeah.
So it was like the timing was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, we did a lot of incredible things here. We did Summer Jam. There was like 4,000 people there. I was the sole investor and organizer. Worked with the Twins. They helped promote. Me and the Twins did Gucci Man. I was a sole investor and organizer of that. There was 7,000 people in the Monroeville Convention Center. That was incredible. That was the moment he got out. We were the first show. I was super happy about that.
The craziest stuff is, I gotta shout out to Duke. Hey, I gotta shout out to Duke for damn near stealing my fucking Peter Griffin chain up off me. but I also gotta give a shout out to the Duke because before he came up the second time and you brought him, Gucci was in this motherfucker every single week he was down there. Booming, like whenever it was.
Like
He was in Pittsburgh Heavy, right?
Yeah.
I did not know this. Why was I missing?
We were in
all of
Cheney.
this?
Really?
We was at Cheney.
We was at Cheney.
Oh,
This was before he got locked up. He was at
Oh.
Cheney. He was
I
going
remember
crazy.
Pittsburgh was loving Gucci.
Man, this was the
He was
fat
loving
fucker.
Yeah.
Fucking movie.
Yes.
But
You tried to trick the Gucci.
I mean, he had some ties here. Gucci had some ties here.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense because I'm like, is this your second time?
yeah, definitely. It's like Walker, too. Walker still come here.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Walker be around. Every time he here, he hit us up.
Okay.
Walker showed so much growth in like the past couple years where it's just like, I looked at him like fucking just wild boy, aka Young Wild.
Hey.
But nah, like whenever you really sit down and listen to Walker in like an interview, bro, real intelligent, like mild mannered, like he got all the qualities of like a dude that you would want to
Listen to.
It's always like that.
It is always like that, actually. It is always like that. You meet these people and realize, like, they just regular human beings who go through their things and then learn over time. They just gotta. The thing I realized what separates a person with talent from a superstar is a person with talent just has a tremendous talent, but like a superstar is able to navigate their talent and grow within a certain realm without being caught up. And that's what makes like a star, like a superstar, and be able to, because mad people create great music, but mad people aren't able to survive the pressures of what comes with that. And that's what I learned from like working and investing and developing artists. Like a lot of people, your cousin might have the greatest voice in the world. Your folks might have the greatest rapping ability in the world, but when that heat is on and that pressure is on and everybody's around them asking for shit and they got a little thing, how do they start acting? How do they start responding? What is their attitude? What is their personality? What is their work ethic when they got a little $5,000 in their pocket when they never had before? The people that are able to survive that and navigate and grow are the ones that become superstars. The people that don't are just people that had talent and one day they had a moment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
Is it hard? Like, I don't even know how to ask this. I feel like the music industry in Pittsburgh ain't super big. Like, it's not a huge thing the way that other big cities have. Like, won't have, like, the support or the audience. Like, so is it tough to kind of, like, break through that ceiling that Pittsburgh has? Because I feel like we kind of have a cap.
Yeah, I agree, man. I thought Pittsburgh was a trap city for a long time.
Yeah.
Yep, I got you.
Sonny, the only reason, so I started working with a woman by the name of Tierra Wack, a manager, investor.
Shout out to Tierra Wack.
She is so good.
Super dope. Rock Nation.
Yeah, she's so good.
Yeah, she recently just premiered a film that I got a small part in.
Well, we're going to get into that. Don't do that yet.
No, I got you.
I had a question for you about the Pittsburgh music scene because I feel like, I mean, and I don't know anything about it for real, but just as an outsider looking in, it kind of seems like our scene is so small and like we have a cap on our city. You know what I mean? So like, do you feel like it's challenging to break through that?
Nah, I mean, I've done it. Me personally, I've done it 4 times straight. Latia,
Okay, Hot Street.
Latasha, Tej, and then Fed.
Okay.
Shout out Fed the guy.
Yeah, definitely shout out
Shout out
Fed. Keep
Tasha.
holding
You
it
talking about
down.
Latia's sister?
Yeah, Latia's
That's
sister.
my boo.
Latasha secretly was just like fucking incredible, and I wanted to take it to the
I'm so happy
moon.
you're saying that so she can hear this. Cause we
Oh
was
my
just
God,
talking about
me
music.
and my friends.
Tosh.
So I have a core team, which is Johnny Montina, and then shout out to my boy Kanique Sims.
Shout out Johnny.
So like,
Shout out.
yeah, that's my
The
boy.
whole gang.
Yeah, so like
Gang.
we've been working together 7-8 years. So my boy Kanique, he does all the music. So he did all the music for Latia. He did all the music for Latasha.
That's lit.
He does all the music for Tierra Wack. So like, it's for me. I think you got to look at it like this. If you're able to take over a metropolitan city in any area, it's going to ring around the country.
Right.
And then there are key people from that metropolitan area that have connections or ties or keep their ears to the streets. If you have enough people screaming your name in an area, it garners attention. Pittsburgh's one of those places where like we're kind of late to things, but we're also super intelligent and super humble. So we're not a dickhead to being late to things. And if we're able to express a creative at scale, people gravitate towards it because it's not LA, New York, or these major cities. So the moment that we experience something new and fresh, we like, yo, this is fire.
Yeah.
So all you got to do is just like, it's literally this simple, like, yo, let's make sure that the creative, whatever your creative is, like it's video production, if it's music, if it's painting, let's make sure that whatever we do is at the highest level possible, and then let's get it in front of as many people as possible, right? And then you do that consistently enough, 6 months to a year, and before you know it, it's like people are talking. And that we kind of just like followed that same structure with every single artist that we've worked with.
It's so wild because like I don't got no training and nothing that you got going on.
Yeah.
But Barry, me and Barry have conversations after the pod, like damn near
Hey,
every
TJ.
damn near like every other day, and we always bring up the fact that consistency and like the professionalism. I mean, how you feel about the whole setup? You feel like you in a nice little podcast setup?
Yeah. I watched you set up. Your setup made me want to ask questions about, your history and past, which I think you seen I asked you.
Yeah.
And then, I'll take a look at the video and then, what I'm saying, afterwards and be like, yo, like, I think you should do this, or I think I really enjoyed this process.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's all about the process as well. But yeah, super professional, and I like the area, and I've never been here before, so.
Because like me and Barry talk about this like damn near every podcast at the end. I'm
Like
like, bro,
consistency?
yeah, like the consistency and like the professionalism. Like as long as we giving people the interviews that they want and not just Joe Schmo off the block. You know what I mean? Like we got like purpose. Like we're moving in purpose. You know what I mean? So every interview is gonna be purposeful. Like and even as far as like skipping weeks, like we ain't skipped the weekend.
Oh, wow. Probably once. Just once.
We ain't skipped no weekend.
I was say we did. I think we just moved
that
the
too.
day.
Yeah, we
moved the day.
did. My life.
But the consistency factor and like our page is growing because it's like a brand new YouTube page for people who ain't like really hip to social media. Like growing the YouTube page is hard.
It's hard.
Yo, and they just lowered the standards, but I'm gonna talk about that later. Like they just did their job eating.
Give me the 500
Wait, before we stray too farther, because I'm so very intrigued about this because I never got to really talk to somebody who's in the music industry here. So you were talking about like breaking through that cap. So something that I also noticed as just a consumer, it seems like once we get artists that like get to a level, it kind of like ceases. So like where do you go from there? Like, is it like it just kind of ceases in Pittsburgh, but they're kind of traveling throughout the world, or like what be going on? Because like we don't know.
I think there's a lot of answers to that question. I mean, one, as creatives, as managers, as entrepreneurs, when you get to a certain level in anything, in any field, there might be some hubris that comes with that. There might be some perspective that comes with that. There might be some financial literacy that comes with that. That might be needed. There might be some professionalism or etiquette that comes with that, with dealing with people at certain levels. So if you don't have a good team around you, or you're not skilled, or at least trying to learn these core things, the talent really doesn't matter. The talent will get you to a certain level. To excel that level, you have to have a good personality. Yeah. Right? You have to be able to manage the money that you've earned thus far to this point, to be able to reinvest in yourself or to take you to the next level. Right. You have to be able to identify who to keep around you, who not to keep around you. So a lot of artists who have great talent, they sometimes get lost in one of these verticals. Yeah. And then you're like, what happened? And then so usually it's easy to say, oh, well, the city wasn't fucking with him. Or maybe he cussed too many people out.
Right.
Or maybe she just turned off too. Maybe she was fighting everybody in the streets. Or maybe...
Shout out Jocelyn.
I don't know. Oh, yeah. I seen that.
Run down queen.
But that's the situation where you could burn bridges in a room where you thinking like, man, this is just the same Zeus setup that we've been on. Meanwhile, it's like,
this is real life.
The big money man was here today.
Yeah.
And he just now seen this. It's a shit show now.
Well, the Jocelyn shit that's their business.
Yeah, that's
like drama and conflict is how they draw eyes to their platform. So the boss that's in the room is going to clap silently for black people beating up black people.
Yeah.
How do you speak of that? How do you feel Tyler Perry just became the owner of VH1 and BET?
I think it's
what? I didn't know that.
I think it's incredible.
Lit.
Shout out Tyler Perry.
Shout out Tyler Perry.
No, hold on. No, hold on. Shout out Tyler Perry, but shout out Barry for having the wisest idea. Because I'm like, if we got more than like 4 people on the pod, then we got to add like more outlets or whatever. So Barry's like, bro, we could get this stuff that we use for theater, bro, like their little mics. You know what I mean? But you ain't gonna believe where he told me I could put my mic at.
Right.
I told that nigga I ain't know fucking Tyler Perry playing.
What I mean to win?
Put it in your win.
Yes.
I said, hey, bro.
It's Bluetooth.
Bro, I was fucking with you. Bro, we sitting in the parking lot just kicking and busting up. We like, oh, we bouncing ideas off each other. I'm like, bro, fire. Everything's fire. And he was just like, yeah, bro. And like, if you want to go, you can just like put the mic right here. I said, hey, my boy. Let me stop you real quick.
He thought he was on roll.
Heat check. Heat check.
Break.
Shoot.
Like, why would I put that in my hair, bro? Like, why would I do that? Like, I think I'm good right here.
Peter taught you a lot, though.
Yeah, shout out Tyler Perry.
Man.
He's like one of my biggest
Cheney
role
taught me a lot.
models.
I love
me
it.
too.
I love Tyler Perry.
Yeah,
Not like that.
you're funny. Yeah, I was gonna say he's one of my biggest role models because he expanded my vision. Like I've always wanted a production house, right? Ever since I was in school and I fell in love with production, I'm like, I want a whole production house. And I'm thinking like a warehouse is like super dope. Like, ooh, I'll be in the game if I get a warehouse. This man got a mini city and turned it into a production.
On the top of an old slave plantation.
Yes, I'm like, whoa. So he really like brought.
He's a real famcester. That's a famcester right there.
Yes.
Tyler Perry's a famcester.
He is. He's going to be. He is a legend right now. But like when he's going and moving on.
What is that term that you said?
Famcester. So we felt
what
like
is that term? He
we
makes
felt
up
like
terms.
the term ancestor was too commonly associated with just a singular sex within our family because most of us were raised by women in our
I've never
family.
heard that perspective.
And we don't usually associate the word ancestors with men. Like, do you know any male ancestors, like male ancestors that you think of?
What, me personally?
Well, yeah, like, dude, like when you think of an ancestor, do you think of him like, oh,
yeah?
this
I mean,
guy?
I think man and woman. I think it's just someone who came before you that's a part of you.
Yeah.
But that's the true definition. But like whenever we first say like, man, name an ancestor, you're not thinking have no uncles, no granddads, no nothing. You thinking of big
Grandma, big mama,
But you know what I might think is because
dinners.
black men would be missing in our family.
I told you, right?
That's what we said. Fam sisters. It's your whole family. Could be your uncle, your brother,
uncle, brother.
Cause y'all are thinking too close.
We
Y'all are
uncle
thinking
brothers.
close. I be thinking about the whole nine, the men, the women.
I mean, I be thinking about the whole nine too, but I don't know. That's funny. I like that term, though. Fam
sisters.
Yeah, we trademarking that. You gotta help us with that.
Put that on a shirt.
Put it on the shirt. Oh, free lunch material.
Hey,
Yeah, free lunch merch. When is it coming in?
Before we do anything with merch, I got contracts for everybody to sign.
Put the pressure on.
Yeah, we just now turned this pot up to another level. So any
good, because I was about to come with proposals.
it's a free lunch product. Yeah, it's a free lunch product. And,
do your thing.
I'm glad you said that because I was going to come with a little something. Because we ain't going to hit them 500. So when they said 500, I said, we ain't got that much ways to go. I need a little contract or something.
We gonna get that check.
Yeah,
as y'all should.
Yeah,
as y'all should.
Hold up, before we get too far, cause bro just came back from doing something that I don't know anybody in Pittsburgh that's ever done it. You know what I mean? People go to Sundance in Tribeca, but do you know them personally? We got somebody in who just came back from Tribeca Film Festival, walked the red carpet, and is actually in a part of the production that was premiered. Bro, can you give us some information on that? Can we get an exclusive on that?
Well, there's actually another guy I just realized from Pittsburgh, older guy, like 60, 70 years old. I think his name is Sam. I found out that he was also at a premiere of a film from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
This year. So I would love to connect with him. I think, it's important that we amplify those type of people. But yeah, Tierra Wax, she has a documentary called Cypher. It's based around her process of growing into an artist and her dealings with the industry and secret societies. So it's incredible. I went to the 2 premieres. There's another one that happened on Monday, but I came back. Shout out to the director, Chris, my guys, Johnny and Kenny, who are producers. I got a small little scene in there.
Chill, bro. No lamps over your shade, bro. We don't do
no. It's light. But it still was like, I'm not an actor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think to see myself on that screen was.
You still get a credit though.
Yeah, it was
like a SAG credit and everything.
But it was dope. That shit was dope.
Congratulations.
Yeah, for surely congrats.
And then watch people respond to the film in the theater was a different feeling. Mind you, this is after, we from Pittsburgh, we're you're not, it's this city is this and this city is that. Right. You know what I'm saying? You can't do this and this in this city. So for me, it's I'm also from Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So I just like that. I like that vibe.
We gotta change that narrative.
Yeah. But I feel like that's a closed-minded narrative about Pittsburgh because everything that people say that you can't do, there's somebody who already did it. You just gotta tap into those fields. I was young whenever my mom introduced me to August Wilson.
Yeah.
And she wasn't playing around about it. You know what I mean? But that just let me know where my mom was at as far as history and what type of information she wanted to be pushing into my head. You know what I mean? Because everybody know the dudes who got all the bread or got all the street cred or got this and that, but the artists who really come from Pittsburgh, there's a lot of artists who really come from Pittsburgh.
And no one even know about it.
They don't know about it.
Because they don't.
Too humble. And they don't even speak too much about their successes. They just go on about their day.
There's a dude from Pittsburgh right now that sings in Japan. He sings Japan culture music, and he's a superstar over there.
Superstar. There's a guy that works for Rock Nation. There's high level Rock Nation from Pittsburgh.
What?
There's a high level Rock Nation.
About these people?
Why do these not get highlighted?
Because one, they're at a certain level, so they try and keep their lives as private as possible.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to change that narrative. And then 2, we so busy as a group hating on where we come from, we don't go and explore. I'm 35 years old. I never knew this place was here. Every single day, because of my journey and the people I work with in my company, I'm recognizing something new and incredible about Pittsburgh every single day. Meeting new people, going to new places, new venues, new avenues. Just got to open your mind up. I think one of the main things I teach my clients is everything you need is internal.
Yeah.
It's not external. It's not about your environment. Even though maybe sun does make you happy. Maybe water does make you happy. Maybe heat makes you happy. I get that part. But if you're not able to relocate or you're not in a position to do something, well, you just gonna fail.
Right.
Right. Right.
That's a
I think that's a sad story.
Yeah, I agree.
Unfortunately.
It's a real sad story. And you know why it's sad? Because when you talk to younger kids, before they get to that age where, you know, like where we really figuring out what type of men we're about to be, men or women, you know what I mean? Because, like, it's like such a defeated conversation. Like, whenever I'm talking to younger dudes and I'm like, nah, bro, you could do this, or you could do that, and you tell me what you want to be in life, and I'll tell you, you can hate me if you want to. I'll cheer for you all day.
Yeah.
The moment I start feeling like you slacking, I can't cheer right now, bro. I gotta talk that shit to you.
Yeah.
Because I know that you can make it. I know that anybody can make it, bro. How many times did I tell you, like Barry, he came to me whenever we got 100 subscribers. And he was like, bro, we got 100 subscribers. I'm like, bro, let's get 2. Let's get 3. Let's get 4. Let's get 5. Because I know that it can happen. I've seen people do it. I've seen myself do it on separate pages. But, like, it's just, I bet no football player feel like he can't make it out of Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Because there's so many examples of football players making it out.
Yeah.
There's not too many examples of podcasters making it out of Pittsburgh.
Right.
I look at those things like when people say, "Oh, artists, no one's broke since Mac or Wiz." I look at those like or whatever. I also started a production house, Charlotte's Web, the arm of that.
And shout out Charlotte's Web.
Oh, I love that name.
Yeah, check it out.
It was my mother. So Charlotte's Web comes from my mother. My mother's name before she passed away was Charlotte's Web. Charlotte Webb. She got married to Lamvoris Webb. And then her and Lamvoris and his son passed away in a car accident.
Oh my gosh.
Wow,
I'm so sorry to hear that.
When I was
Condolences.
Yeah, appreciate it. It's been 7-8 years. So, you know, when I was going around the world and like doing whatever the fuck I was doing, she would call me. She had a marketing company. She would call me and be like, yo, like, I got this PGA meeting or this church little thing. I just made the flyer for her. Like, what you think? And mind you, I was heavy. She knew like my training exploits and like my struggles with that, whatever. TJ, you making a lot of noise, my boy.
Hey, T. Hey, T. Hey, T.
You got to take some.
We almost done.
We have to cut some of that interview, bro.
We almost done. But she knew, you know, she would ask me for my advice. I'd be like, Mom, I'm on a stage for like 10,000 people. Like, I love you to death. I'll look at it later. You know what I'm saying? Then when she passed away, like, I was still moving around with Tierra, like, you know. But I went through like a crazy period of depression. And the only way I got my way through that was just helping people based off of my knowledge. And then people started wanting to pay me. They're like, bro, you're like, it's whatever you're telling me is working and I want to give you some money. And I was just like, all right, cool. I guess I got to start a business. And I'm going to call it Charlotte's Web. And of course it just made sense because she had the company. And then like the whole like spider in the farm vibe.
Right.
And then like social media and digital shit.
That's so cool.
So it's safe to say that she kind of had that Kanye effect on you. Like she was a pivotal person as far as.
Hey, I'm sorry, I be about to cry when I'm
Nah, for real, bro.
I be like sentimental stuff.
For real.
I'm like, dang, bro, like you trusting me with that information?
Because that sounds like purpose. That sounds like God. Like that's a God movement. Like that's a God ordained.
It's like how Kanye, when you watch Kanye's documentary, you see the energy his mom poured into him.
Yeah.
It's like, how can you not understand how he is so confident within himself? And it's like the same thing. It sounds like your mom poured a lot of things into you that made you become the confident person to do what you wanted to do today.
Yeah, she definitely be like, Mikey, like, you know what you're doing. I remember early on, I was the type to never take pictures. She's like, Mike, you working like French Montana. And she's like, you doing all this stuff at school? You taking pictures? I'm like, no, Mom, I'm trying to be humble. In the background, she's like, yo, forget all that. Fuck all that. Go take a picture because you're going to want that picture one day.
Yes.
And it's so funny because, you know, as a marketer and a creative consultant, I tell my clients the same thing. Like, yo, don't be full of yourself, bro. Like, it's okay to go ask that person for a picture, whether they're a star or just someone you just met that works at Get-Go. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, go take that because one day you're gonna wish you took that picture at that moment.
And that's interesting that you bring that up because as I see you right now in your career, you're probably the most confident I've seen you ever.
Yeah.
And for you to get to that point, you've All right, the only reason why I say that is because I've seen you work with a lot of female artists in the R&B realm.
Yeah.
This is your first time I really seen you like really go full dive deep into the hip hop realm with Fed.
Yeah.
What made you decide to finally be like, you know what, I want to work with a male artist who's in the hip hop realm of the industry?
Fed was just something that when I see something, I jump off a bridge, but I'm getting better about jumping off those bridges because I got a family, right? Mm-hmm. But when I see something, believe in something, I go crazy. Like I literally go crazy. And I had a house I was renovating at McKees for New Kensington. So I was driving from Penn Hills to New Kensington. That's like a 30-minute drive. I'm driving, and I come across something that Stevie B posted. It was Bobby Boucher, I Fed to God. So I'm like, I done spent some money with Stevie, work with him. So I'm like, let me just see what it's about. I click on it. I'm just like, I think I'm smoking or something. And I'm just listening. I'm like, on my phone, and I realized I'm bobbing my head to this shit. Like, this shit's hard. So I just put my phone down and like, I think I had a cigarette. I threw the cigarette out the window. I'm just like,
fuck that square.
I roll my windows down.
Would you say the vibes start changing on you?
I turned this bitch up. So I played that Bobby Boucher shit like 20 times, and I called Stevie 10 times in a row. Like, I know he was in a session, but I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I called, he finally like, Mike, bro, what's up? I'm like, who's this kid Fed to God? He like, yo, it's my folks. What's up you want? And at the time, he know I'm like heavy in this shit. So he like, what's up? You want me to connect? I'm like, yeah, I want to meet him immediately. Next day, at that time, I had a red Corvette. And so I pull up, and I sit down in this bar, Southside. At that time, he had a short cut. He just cut his hair again.
Yeah, he
He cut his dreads off?
cut the wicks off, man.
Cut the wicks off. And
I can't do it,
and my fiance did not like them wigs. She said, he in a wedding? With them wigs? She gonna make the pictures all ugly. He just hearing it. If he watches, she gonna be like, oh, she didn't tell me that. I remember he walked in to meet me, and there were 3 women behind him. They were all laughing as they walked in, but as they seen me, everyone got quiet. He told the girls to go sit. They sat under the table in like a row, and he sat down. He was like, what's up with you, Mike? I heard a lot about you. It was like, so you able to get them to just sit like that and get quiet like that? I'm just like,
Northside shit, huh?
Like, what's up with
They want that Northside shit.
And I just told him, I said, yo, I believe in you, and I love this song, and like, I don't have the bandwidth to manage you right now, because I had like 7 artists at the time. I don't have the bandwidth to manage you right now, but I want to see if I can help you with your music video. And since then, we were just fast friends, and the Taylor Gang situation came up, and he called me. He said, Mike, I know we're friends, but like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, just manage me, bro.
So, all right, so like, not bad, but that moment, because that's kind of like, that's a relationship. It's like how a relationship happens in, like, between like men and women. You know what I mean? Like, where it's like, look, man, I'm tired of playing around, man. You good for me, I'm good for you.
Yeah.
Then we gonna just tie the knot and make this thing like official, like, because in business, I mean, marriage is business, but in business it's like really like a marriage, because you gotta trust that person with your day-to-day life. You gotta trust that dude is going to stay out of trouble so that your investment don't go you know what I mean, like unseen, you know what I mean?
I think Fed had realized since we've been friends so long, he has seen the good things that I've gone through and the bad things. And that was a point in my life where like, hey, I'm not working with any artist unless I'm 1,000% sure. Right? Because it's just, like you said, the music industry, which has helped me to navigate many other industries, is probably the most difficult industry in the world. Right? And when you talk about being a manager, you're kind of like, you're not managing the music, you're also managing their lives.
The person, yeah.
They're managing the person, their personalities, their tics, their families, what they like to eat.
That 3P was hard.
Yeah, it was hard. Like what they like to eat, how they feel in certain moments, who they like around them at certain moments. Like, it's a science to it. That's a lot for another person to take on. So he kind of like knew like, all right, I gotta make sure like he cool. You know what I'm saying? So he took his time with it, but Yeah, I mean that's my boy, bro. And like, since then we've been off to the races. And Taylor Gaines a great partner, and I got to work with like one of my heroes, like Will. So it's funny to me because I talk to Will now every day, and I be reminding myself like I remember when I was younger and like listening to like flight school and like I was a Wiz fan. So when we be talking about Fed, he be bringing up. I don't think he be knowing this. I be telling him sometimes, but he bring up like what he went through with Wiz. I be like, damn, I'm really talking to Will, nigga.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I be like, and I be telling him like, I fuck with you. Like, this is hard for real for me because we we listen to Wiz all day.
All day. We was putting Philly people on. Like, oh, y'all talking about Meek, bro? Y'all gotta listen to Wiz.
A time to be alive.
Yes.
Bro, like I got the man. Wiz might not remember it because I know the boy smoked like an Indian
chimney.
But nah. I was, like I told you off camera, I was down in the service, I'm down South Carolina, and like I'm in Foot Locker, and I see Wiz on the Foot Locker screen. That say yeah. I'm like,
yeah, that was crazy.
He from Pittsburgh, yo. No. He from Pittsburgh. I'm telling all the dudes down service, but they from Missouri, Cali, everywhere they from. And I'm like, nah, he from Pittsburgh. He's a star. He that dude.
Yeah.
I come back to Pittsburgh, bro. And if you around my age and you really from Pittsburgh, you know about that Ludic scene.
Yeah.
You know about Club Ludic.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
There was three people. There was three people to perform at Club Ludic that night. You ain't gonna guess who the lineup was because Wiz was the opening act for S Money, and then S Money. But S Money was also opening up for Owie. So it's like Owie was the last person on the set, like, and I'm like, do y'all not know that this dude is on TV inside Foot Locker? Like, Wiz is him. Like, why? Bro, there was people booing Wiz to get off the stage. Like, bro, we ain't on that cool vibe, bro. I'm like, no, like, y'all need to tap in with him.
But I think that's a prime example, bro, of like the city, bro. It's like,
If you ain't a street dude, if you ain't trapping, if you ain't putting in that work on that level, like, nobody's giving you respect. But I'm like,
no, but it's not nobody giving you respect. I think we so close-minded and such in this closed ecosystem. There are people beyond this street realm that we hold to such a high standard. There are real people in this city that don't sell drugs or act like they sell drugs or act like they got a $50,000 chain or act like they rich or you know what I'm saying? Like there are real people who are doing real things that look like us. And there are real people that that consume things at a high level that look like us and don't look like us.
I see why, because there was a dude.
Talk about it.
There was a local artist back then. It was years ago, and I kept trying to push you onto him. I kept sending you shit. I don't want to say his name.
Say his name.
I think I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it.
What does it start with?
Say the name.
Say the name.
All right, so I remember like years ago I was trying to push Deasley on you.
It's funny.
I was trying to push Deasley on you heavy because I really like this sound. And I kept tagging you and shit. And I kept sending you shit like messages. You were just like,
I'm happy I missed that.
Yeah. And I see why you say that. I see why you say that now because it's you're looking for the marketable angle. You're not looking for somebody who's necessarily like going to bring. That's going to bring the street angle.
That's not necessarily true. Hey, I know you tired. We're gonna get out of here soon. You cool?
Yeah,
you hear the little.
Don't clear your throat. You know what I'm saying?
Like, all right, TJ. Let's wrap it up.
Oh, it's okay.
I do gotta get her in 10 minutes. I just invest my time into like the things I believe in, whether they street, R&B, pop. Like I've been talking to pop artists, country. I remember when I walked into Whammo, and Jamal at the time, he still run Whammo, and I told Jamal, I said, yo, the girl Gabby Barrett, she fire. I'm like, yo, I want to help you. I think you should take her away from all black people.
Okay.
I'm like, yo, she's not the next Mariah Carey. That's corny. She's not the next white girl who sings in a black tone. No one's gonna accept that. I'm like,
talking about that country girl?
She a country star.
She was on American Idol, I think.
American Idol.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I told him, I said, bro, let me help you because I got some experience in this. And he was just like, no, I'm cool. And I was just like, all right, it's cool. Gabby Barrett went on to stop doing R&B music and went on to do country.
Right,
Yep.
right, yep.
And she from Pittsburgh. That's another person like Gabby Barrett's lit.
Yeah.
She's from this city. She started out, rest in peace, Mike Tomlin. She started out being Bubby, George Cole's Bubby was writing
Shout
for
out, Bubby.
Gabby Barrett. Mike Tomlin was producing for Gabby Barrett and had a verse in her song.
Oh, we got
Yes.
I never knew that.
She comes from Pittsburgh. So when we say like, oh, we can't do this, and this, I challenge people to like, maybe you need to look yourself in the mirror and be like, all right, maybe I can't do this, and these are the reasons why I can't do it, and let me get better.
Wow, I never ever knew that.
Yeah, Gabby Barrett from here. I talked to her dad so off and on too.
That's fire.
Yeah, like
That's
his dad. Hey, he different.
So
he be like, yo, Mike, what's up?
So I wanted to circle back on something that you had said earlier, which was, I think you were talking about like just having capacity to manage certain art. Oh, no. You were talking about jumping off the bridge with certain artists. And the reason I wanted to circle back, I want you to elaborate because you said you learned how to kind of balance that. And I could really relate, you know what I mean? I feel like when I see stuff that I believe in, I want to jump off the bridge. And like, how exactly did you figure out that balance? Like, what's different now?
I think in the business that I'm in, you dedicate a lot of your lives to people. Mm-hmm. And I found myself in a position where I was dedicating my life to different individuals, like all in 3-4 years, certain amount of finances, mental energy, spiritual energy. That if something didn't work out or that individual decided to one day say, hey, I don't want to do this anymore, I don't believe in this anymore, it kind of left me in a very vulnerable place, right? So I started realizing like, hey, and this is right it started kind of like my first year of Charlotte's Web, running Charlotte's Web. I started realizing like I have all these tremendous amount of skills. I have all these skills and knowledge. I think I'm going to start investing into myself, those knowledge and skills, versus investing into other people, and then finding a way. And then simultaneously, I still want to help the world, so finding a way to make an impact while insulating myself. And what I found, Africa really changed. So I went to Africa, one of my clients, Tevin Farmer, he's the former lightweight heavy champion of the world.
No way.
He said,
That's one of your clients? Or you still is a client?
Nah, he's no longer a client.
I be in the boxing, bro, so I know who Tevin Farmer is.
I play Call of Duty with Tevin Farmer all the time.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Tell him I said what's up.
I got you.
I bet. Yeah, say that.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me what the fear one.
Nah,
No.
that's not what I want.
I want to beat his ass.
Tev different.
He different, dog.
But Tev had brought us all down to Ethiopia.
That's fire.
So Ethiopia wanted to build like their own like boxing whole ecosystem, and they wanted Tev to be the face of it. So they brought us around for 2 weeks. Like took us to the government offices, the news places to do interviews. We got to eat with the locals. Really nice place. And during that time, speaking to the locals and like learning, I just realized like my purpose was just like to help as many people as possible.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I came home and just got on the internet and just started like fucking word vomit. Like every day. Just like, yo, when you release some music, do this. Like, yo, when you doing this, do this. Yo, if you trying to throw a party, I'm Mike Carroll. Like, I know what I'm talking about. Right? Like it was real, like there was a braggadocious to it, but I was just for like 3 months straight, just throwing information. And it just changed my entire life. So the way I was able to like help people while insulating myself was like using the internet. So like I was able to like give people real life stories. They were able to check my resume and realize I wasn't bullshit and just be like, yo, I'm gonna take the information and rock with it. And if people wanted me to come on in a one-on-one capacity, I started understanding the art of like doing business and like running it through my company.
Okay.
Okay. It's crazy that you say that because right now I'm in a situation where people are seeing like the Free Lunch podcast and they seeing like I've been doing podcasts for about like 3 years now, you know what I mean? And they see the growth and like where I was.
Shout out to 1v1s.
Shout out to 1v1s that I be doing, you know what I mean? Shout out. It's Horns podcast with my older cousin, Bill Falmouth.
Bro really lit. Man, bro's lit.
Man, hold up, man. Me and my best friend just now got back on good terms, man. Like,
Oh, yay. It's been a little while, huh?
it's
Big
fucked
up's
up.
that.
It's fucked up that it took like the death of a high school friend, but like man,
Be like that.
whenever Mike Tomlin passed away, like man, me and my boy, and we ain't talking months. He called me at like 6 o'clock in the morning, like, bro, you hear what happened? I was just like, yeah, I heard what happened, and we started talking about it.
Mike.
Yeah, like again, like this is.
Yeah, that's wild.
I feel like I'm gonna keep saying it. Like this is the third podcast in a row, but I'm gonna keep saying it because the impact that he had. You know what I mean? But my boy called me like, "Hey, man, I wouldn't feel right if I still had the same type of energy towards you that I had like a couple months ago." You know what I mean? And yeah, basically, like that death brought us back together. But we just talking about like the growth of the podcast. Boom. Anyway.
Nah, but that's a real conversation that you had. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
TJ.
No,
But that was a real conversation that you had. And I think that's important.
Yeah, but he was like my podcast partner like before everything. I mean, but like the death of Mike Tomlin brought us back closer together. Now we kicking it again. But
No, I think it's important to acknowledge what you're talking about because I think you guys had that conflict for whatever reason and you grew apart. Separately, you both grew apart. Separately, y'all both grew on your own individual journeys. Because of the death of someone, now you kind of reconnecting. One, you're reconnected on a personal level. I just think it's important to point out it might not need to be on a business level anymore.
yeah,
You need to analyze that relationship, and he needs to analyze the relationship and ask yourselves, do you want to be in a business relationship? There are many relationships over the course of the year, these 17 years I've been doing this thing where like, you know, we were friends, we did business, it didn't work out, and then it circles back around, and it's like, okay, we're gonna keep this personal relationship, but at a business level, I've gotten into a place where like this is where I'm at. This is how my business is set up.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think, you know, it's important for you to, you know what I'm saying, acknowledge that.
It's crazy that you even brought that up because that's really what it was. It was just like, bro, the business just ain't dear.
Yeah, we could just be friends, real good friends.
Yeah. But,
And that might be better.
bro, I told him, I said, nigga, you went to game 6 of the motherfucking Lakers versus the Memphis Grizzlies and you ain't tell me how it was, bro?
Yeah.
So you went to go see LeBron and you ain't tell me how it was. I said, bro, we could beef about that. That's something we can beef for years about, bro. Because you know how we rock about Bron. And that's just me and my boy. But going into the podcast and like people seeing like how it's growing. So now like I got people that like we're friends, so you always want to keep like the relationship friendly. But they're like, I need your help with my podcast, and it's like, do you need help like just advice here and there whenever you stumble across a problem, or do you want like an actual sit down, a consultation, in like the whole kit and caboodle? Because if you want that,
it's different.
I gotta make it different.
And speaking on that subject, man, before we go, because I know you said you only had 10 more minutes left, so I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I do want to end. I want you to know that, Mike, you've always been a pivotal person in my life, whether you've realized it or not.
Thank you, brother.
Watching you from a distance, seeing the moves that you've made, the motivation that you have given yourself to accomplish the things that you've done, I think is extremely commendable, especially as a black man working in the industry that is as tough as it is, in the market, in the city that we're in that is as tough as it is. I think it's amazing.
Thank you,
so before you go, I do want to say this. People are watching, and we're rooting for you. Just as much as we're rooting for those other people that came out of Cheney doing great things, we're rooting for you too.
Shout out to Chris.
Shout out Chris Davis.
Shout out Johnny.
Big George Foreman. Go see Big George Foreman. Shout out Johnny with Agran Global. Shout out Chris Carter. Shout out to Tika Green. We see all of y'all doing y'all thing. Shout out Shakima Siemens over there working with Jalen Hurts. Cheney produced a lot of great people.
Right, y'all.
Talk.
A small school.
It's the alum for me.
A small school fighting accreditation. Saying that we're the first HBCU, man. We started with a hole in the ground, man. And that quad meant everything.
That's a fact.
And Mike made it.
I want to give a shout out to my alumni from CCAC too.
Hey, shout out Kit Kat.
Hey, Loke Dog. hey, Smoke Loke. Shout out Mr. Beans. It's like, nah.
But we see you, bro. We love you. We appreciate you. Keep doing the hard work. Keep working with Fed. Keep pushing him on the right narrative and the right platform where he's not going to be a statistic out here as far as local artists. Keep pushing to elevate him with Taylor Gang. Again, thank you for being reachable.
You know, for sure.
Good luck
appreciate you guys having
with
me
everything
here,
that you're doing, man. And shout out, don't forget, hit up Tevin Farmer. I said, what's up?
Oh, yeah, I got you.
You know what I mean? Same thing with Tierra Whack, because I'm following her too. I need to see this documentary.
Yes, me too.
You know what
I want to see it.
I need to see it.
It's crazy.
And hopefully we can bring you back again, man.
I'm
When
here.
I call your phone, pick up.
Yeah, I got
Definitely
you.
pick up.
I got you for sure.
I'm
Hey. T ready to go. Little TJ ready to go, you see?
Yeah.
He about to put his Pooh Shiesty on.
Don't put the Pooh Shiesty on, bro.
If you guys got any more questions, we could do one more and then I'll be out.
Okay.
What?
Now any extra
I do,
questions?
but it could be long. I'm gonna call your phone. And be like, nah, but for real. Okay, so as far as like, cause I'm more so behind the scenes of production, you know, like I told you. And what's something you could tell me? What's a little gem you could tell me? Because I feel like I could relate to what you said as far as like, people will hit you up for advice, you give it, and then you're like, hold on, I gotta handle myself a certain type of way. How do you get there? Like, you know, what's some advice that you would give to somebody like me?
I mean, one, I think the internet's a powerful tool, so you could use that to give out your advice. I think I try my best to be as accessible as possible without burdening myself or my family. So, like usually I'm just asleep by like 9:30. Like it's a late night for me. Like I'll be in like my fiance.
Don't want to stay up too late.
I know my fiance be pissed because I be asleep like 9:40.
Man, for real?
Yeah, because
I love
wake
that
up
for
every
you.
day at 4 o'clock.
Okay, you on Kobe's schedule.
Yeah, I mean, it's just be too much to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I be trying to work out at 5, and then from 5, and then by 6 a.m.
I definitely see you doing the workout stuff. I've been seeing you on your workout shit.
So, I mean, I guess to answer your question is like, you just got to structure your business in a way where like, you know, you're able to be accessible and give value for free and help the people around you while like funneling those people into a situation where like, hey, if you want like that full package, here's my price list. It's also about the approach, like being super professional, even with your friends, and be like, hey, here's some advice I can give to you for free. Because the thing about giving advice is like, yeah, you can give it in like, but 9 out of 10 times the people that you give it to, they don't have the bandwidth or capacity to do it.
Yeah.
And that's just the unfortunate truth for anyone running a business.
Yeah.
So they'll try and accomplish like 2 out of the 10 things you say, realize it works, and then call you back. Also, one of the things I realized is like, I just keep pricing myself out of conversations.
I feel that. It's like, that's like
I
a
love
respect
it.
level for yourself.
Yeah.
I love it.
I feel that.
Like here's the price. So now my conversation, it went from like local rapper, pay my consultant fee to like, we got into politics too. I'm hyped about that. So
I know that's right.
To doing John Weinstein's county executive run. So now it's like, now we talking with politicians and here's the price. Right? And I've seen that over the course of 6 to 8 months, just every month for no reason I'm raising the price because I had a bad conversation or I had a bad interaction. So I'm just like, I don't want to even, like my assistant went from like collecting money in like paper bags to like sending invoices. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's key.
Oh, I love that.
Yesterday's price
It's not
It's not
today.
today's
not
price.
today's price.
No, sir.
And right now, we got
Yeah,
Mike, and he got to be out now, man.
Gotta go. Busy man.
Before you leave, I do want to let you know how much I appreciate you coming through,
Facts, man. Thank you,
Barry,
bro.
linking us up and getting us acquainted, man. That was something big because in the midst of the podcast that we was doing, I thought he was just mentioning a person's name, like just giving a shout out to his Cheney family because he always do that, man. Barry's a good dude, man. He always giving flowers and roses. I mean, like Barry's the motherfucker that's going to give a rose. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
We're proud of you. You're doing amazing.
sure, yeah,
You're
definitely,
representing
bro.
our city well.
I think you guys are too.
You're inspiring.
Thank you.
I think my advice to the podcast before I leave is just like, look at your competition nationally and internationally. How does their podcast looks? How are they presenting them on digital platforms? What is the font they're using on their subtitles? When are they posting? How many times they're posting? How many episodes they have a week? Who are they interviewing? What are their hosts? What are they wearing? What does their background look like? Everything. That in a national and international level, and then ask yourself, how quickly can we get to this standard of video quality? How quickly can we build a system to make sure that every single podcast is layered, subtitled, the caption or copy is engaging? How quickly can we get to a place where our YouTubes have those title screens on it, or we're doing YouTube shorts to drive traffic to our YouTube platform? Right? We got to do the research and see what's out there in the market, copy, paste, and innovate. And then you got my number, and then I'll send you my number, and then you give me my number too, and then you got my number too, and then you call me anytime.
Appreciate
as long
that,
as it's
bro.
before 9:30.
Thank you, bro. Before
I'm calling you tomorrow morning.
Thank you so much.
I appreciate you, bro.
Shout out Charlotte's Web. Shout out Mike Carroll, man.
Can we get TJ in the camera now?
Yeah, T, come on, show your face, bro. Take that poo shiesty off, bro.
Come on, TJ.
Take that shiesty off. Let them see you.
Come on.
Yeah, one time.
He was
Let
a
them see
part
your
of the
face.
production. He's the feature right here. Yeah, TJ. What's up? That's my boy. Period.
What's up, T? Introduce yourself one time, bro.
My name is Terrence.
Hey, my
Yeah.
name is Terrence.
I know that's right, T.
What you want to do, T? Who?
I'm gonna stop around like this.
Make her say noisy ass.
He's like, I don't have time for this.
You want them cupcakes on the way?
Yeah, I do.
Keep one, stink.
Ready? You take another one, bro.
I fell in love with him as soon as I walked in.
You gotta do it next night, bro. You can't
Since you gotta go.
See you guys. Thank you so much.
See ya.
All right, y'all.
I fell in love with him as soon as I came in. What's that? Like, oh, who's that little kitty? I love the kids.
Before the first show, don't you remember you told me you love me, baby? Said you be coming back this way again. Baby, Tiny desk. You got a tiny desk going, man. Ooh. Charlie Wilson. Ooh. Babyface. Whoa.
Shout out to NPR.
Hey, no. Before we go too far, I just want to say this. Thank you so much for believing in me.
Oh, nah, bro.
Aw, Bear Bear.
Thank you for believing in me, bro.
Why y'all niggas be wanting me to cry?
No, man,
cracking
because
up.
listen,
Y'all niggas be wanting me.
That Barry's definitely one of them ones.
man,
one-on-one.
we had this conversation about relationships, and I told myself, yo, I wouldn't be here if I just never reached out. Like, you know what I'm saying? If I didn't do the opposite of what the status quo is when you see a motherfucker, you just keep going. And it was like, no, man, thank you for believing in me.
Man, I appreciate you.
Aw.
Hey, man, this is what black men do, man. We get roses. That mean?
Yeah.
And black women too.
Is you gonna appreciate me too? How much you appreciate me? Come on.
She can call you stink.
Shower me.
That's my
Melodies
thing.
from heaven.
Hey, rain down on me.
I'm cracking up.
Roses feel good.
You gonna say you gonna appreciate me too? You know I appreciate you, stink to.
Hey.
The fuck? Think
Like-
you get it when you did?
Like what? What you need your dress braided? What you need?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Like,
For real though.
We all do.
What you
We
say?
all
said
do.
we all do.
Yeah, I just went to the barbershop today. I didn't even get a retwist. I was like, you know what?
Don't offer nothing that you ain't willing to do, because this
Okay.
is a 5-hour process.
Look, I only got a couple rows in me. What you want, like 6 cornrows?
What?
That's actually a lot. That's a lot.
I remember when kids used to come to school with like the 4 cornrows, going back to 4 fat ones, like that.
I was one of them.
They mom ain't feel like it today.
My sister didn't.
Is she like throwing shade?
She might be. Cause I had the corn.
Wait, y'all was the 4 cornrows?
Bro.
I had that shit at some of the top of the head. Like that tail would just be in the middle of your head.
I'm
And
weak.
everything
No,
else
look,
like
it's
that.
legendary. It's legendary. You're a part of a culture if you had the 4 cornrows.
Look. Hey, shout out Footer. Because Footer my cuz, man. But Footer used to have 7 braids. So my mom would braid my hair like once or twice a week, and she'd be like, all right, how many straight backs you want? I'm like, give me 6 because Footer got 7. And I was always on some like, nah, like Footer got one in the middle of his head. I don't want that.
You don't like the middle?
I don't like the middle one. I like
In the middle?
I'm a man of symmetry.
Oh, wow.
I like everything on this.
Equilibrium.
Equally ring. Yeah. Hey,
I gotta pee.
Oh.
Me too.
I'm just wondering, can I go or what?
No, you can't go. You guys are under contract until 2050. You guys are gonna be doing podcasts forever.
Because I thought when Mike left, we was gonna hit pause, but we kept it moving. So I'm like, well,
you know what? Great energy. Great energy.
Wonderful
Great
energy.
interview. But this is a good way to close out because it was your birthday.
Oh, we're closing?
My man's bride. Yeah, I think we about to be done. Ain't this like the last half hour? And we should be close for real.
This was the second half hour.
For real? I thought this was the last one.
well, good, because I got something to say. Because I had a bunch like, no.
Oh shit! I was gonna say, pop your shit.
Pop.
I'm playing.
No, I
I'm
think
kidding.
it's the third one. The second one we talked about.
No,
T
this
Black,
is
and then
like-
this the third one.
This the third one?
Yeah.
Oh fuck! Hey, shout out Mike then.
Shout out Mike.
Shout out to
man.
Free Lunch Podcast.
Shout out Free Lunch. Listen, episode
out to-
7. My man say we consistent after episode 7. Y'all don't even understand.
So is it a
Episode 7,
celebration after Sim?
we already in the
Episode
works
Sim?
for episode 7.
Yes.
Episode 7
Episode
is on the
7.
way. Like
Oh, we got a good one for episode 7.
major.
Yeah.
Major.
Who, me?
Yeah. You can be episode 7. we
But
just
you
now
say you
gave-
can be a part of it.
No, we really just now gave her like a female, like a woman's birthday. You had a birthday last pod.
Yeah.
And then we come through again with another birthday.
It's on cupcakes.
Like, hey.
And it was melanin flavored.
I think your
Yeah.
season,
What, it's over? It's not over. It's
Gemini season is gonna be over by next pod.
Yeah, Cancer season is coming in. It's probably one of my most disliked seasons, but I have 2 favorite Cancers. Shout out to y'all. Y'all know who y'all are.
my mom
Let me
is
just
a
leave it at
Cancer.
that.
And mom, if it wasn't for you, I'll be dissing Cancers like crazy.
Man, not for
I'll be dissing them all crazy, but
All my
I love
life.
my mom. I love my mom, but listen, like if I would really be dissing them. Because I can't get with it.
November Scorpios is where is that? That's all I'm
How are
saying.
we
I'm saying.
neighbors?
November
How are we
Scorpios.
neighbors?
Yo, she said, I thought she was about to say the most like
Humble shit.
humble shit. She was like,
Man, nah.
if it wasn't for you,
Fuck them.
I'll be
Fuck
dissing Cancers like a mug. And it's weird because we're neighbors and it's like we're such polar opposite because it's like what is the emotion all about? What is so much emotion about?
it's
It gives me hot flashes in my 20s.
woo. I know me as a Capricorn, the goat.
Goat is a goat.
Capricorns are a little.
I thought Gemini was supposed to be goat is a goat, but
trendy.
they ain't.
Tread lightly. You ain't signed your contract yet.
What you say? You gonna
Just
kick me off?
hilarious. Just hilarious.
Y'all can kick me off and I'm taking off my. It's like, no.
Just Lyris on there. Just Lyris is on there.
No,
She
she's not on there
cemented.
yet.
She not on there yet.
Hell no.
What?
She's still in the Milan phase.
Ooh! We not gonna name it that.
Nah.
And,
We ain't gonna do
and
that.
I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna drop this mic and I'm gonna go pee right in the middle of your podcast since it's the Malaya phase.
Now she gonna pee on your ass.
On you.
Pee on your ass.
On you.
It's like, nah, hey. The host gotta go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So
It's only a little breaky break.
no,
right?
I mean, no, it's like this
It's the end.
It's
Now that
The wine
we
runneth
come-
to the end of the road. Now I can't let go. Come on, keep
Stop
going.
making me laugh. I'm pulling my bladder real hard.
You belong to me.
They don't understand.
Belong to you.
They don't understand what it's like to be a woman and hold your bladder. It's tough.
Oh shit! Nah.
I'm like Kegeling at this point.
Giggling. That's different.
Like, comment,
Comment,
subscribe if you
yeah.
want to see videos.
Keyword today's Kegel. Keyword is Kegel today,
That
everybody.
keyword.
Hey, I appreciate y'all for
We love y'all.
supporting continuously, like just pressing play, pressing subscribe, liking and commenting because trust me, all the views, all the attention is not being unnoticed. We gonna get to 1,000 subscribers, and we gonna.
Not for real. Our
real.
last drop was like, I think it was like 7 hours, and then we already had over 100 views. I said, okay,
Yeah.
stink guys.
This the big pod, not the little one.
Not the little one, the biggest.
Hey, and I ain't even introduce y'all before the pod come, but I'm gonna wrap y'all out.
The podcast.
The pod cam.
Stop making me laugh.
We podcamming.
We pod camming
With the fam sisters, man.
With the fam
The fam sisters.
and the uncle brothers.
And the uncle brothers, man.
Look, y'all, we love y'all. It's Bro Nose, it's Harden, and we got MJ, Dude Music.
MJ.
Shout out, dude. We
It's
see you,
Malay
bro.
J.
We see y'all, but hey, it's Malay J. I call her MJ.
What's up, YouTube?
Bye, YouTube.
Bye. Yes, that is my little thing. Bye.
All right, everybody.
Alexa, play Duke music.
It's the Free Lunch Podcast with me and my comrades, giving you what you need every day, no off days. We talking real-ish and current events. It's the Free Lunch Podcast with me and my comrades, giving you what you need every day, no off days. We talking real-ish and current